you wanna be my friend? It's Lily's friend project. She asked people to apply to be her friend, and then she interviewed them. And when she interviewed them, she saw New York City's a big, big place. Have you got a shot with the human race? Is loneliness what we've all come to expect? From Ridgewood, Queens to 150th Street, it's Lily's Friend Project.
Hey! I'm Lily, and this is the Lily Friend Project, the show where I had people in New York City apply to be my friend, and then I interviewed them to see if we would be a good friend match. Today's episode is about friendship ghostings. Those endings that happen without the ceremony of romantic splits. No we need to talk conversations. No dividing off the stuff. No sympathy ice cream from friends. Just silence, distance, and sometimes a whole lot of confusion. These quiet breakups don't get movies or songs written about them. We don't have rituals for friendship grief. And yet, the loss can be just as profound as any romantic heartbreak. Perhaps because we don't have a script for how to process it. Through the voices of Francis, Renata, and Daniel, we'll unpack the emotional aftermath of these breakups, highlighting the lingering questions and the lessons they leave behind.
It's Lily's Friend Project.
Let me tell you about Francis. When she walked into the interview, she had this immediate warmth about her. 20 years old, an arts nonprofit intern, originally from Boston, but finding her way in Brooklyn. She found my questionnaire through Instagram and decided, why not? Our conversation quickly turned into the kind of fun, girly chat that instantly makes one feel comfortable. We spent nearly half an hour dissecting Gilmore Girls characters and plot lines, giggling.
Growing up when I watched it, I was like, Dean is like the ideal boyfriend.
No,
and
I was
when I rewatched it, I was like, Dean is like a patriarchal nightmare. He's like
so
no,
together, you know what I mean?
And they have a baby. They had a baby.
They had a baby.
But
I
Lindsay, yes.
I even look back at the show, and maybe even Rory was the problem.
Yeah, Rory's not actually
like she's actually not that nice.
Like the grandma was right.
I know.
She
the
was.
first watch,
like,
I
thought it was like a classist thing initially. And Lorelai is so not.
I love Lorelai.
You do?
Yes, I'm like a huge Lorelai fan. She's a good role model in some ways, but like sometimes she's a little, I don't know. She's a young mom. She's learning. I respect her, but I love her.
Frances had this ray of sunshine feeling about her. Bright, warm, genuinely engaged. Then I asked her about this friend breakup she had experienced in high school, which she had detailed in her questionnaire.
This was a really like interesting, crazy experience, I feel like. So Julia and Day were best friends, and then me and Julia were like friends with each other. Like Day just moved to my town. Me and Julia had gone to elementary school and middle school together. Day and Julia got really close. Me and Julia and Day got really close. We go to Julia's birthday party. We've been best friends for like a year and a half by that point. And then all of a sudden, like it was at a birthday party, and we had this other friend, and she was just not talking to our other friend. And it was like unlike her to do that. But sometimes like she had like a short fuse Day, so she kind of just like would,
Whoa.
you know, like she would just like out the drop of a hat. Yeah. So I think that's literally what happened. I think back and I have no idea why she cut them off. It was probably something super small.
Wow.
Like, and I don't know. She had like I look back on it. She definitely had like a lot of like maybe like personal issues that she was working through, so it like wasn't like a cause of us. It was just more of like her like own life taking a toll on her, so she had to separate herself, you know. But yeah, we were at dinner. We were at brunch, and
so was Day there?
Oh yeah, Day was there. It was like me, Julia, Day, and then a couple of our other friends. But like we were all right next to each other, and she was just completely ignoring her, Julia.
And talking to you.
Yeah.
So then you didn't want to be friends with Day because of how she was treating Julia?
No. I didn't want to cut. I'm not the type of person to like cut people off randomly. Like I feel like that's pointless. But Day was the type of person like just cut someone off immediately.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. I don't even know how it escalated. I think it just like slowly fizzled out in a way. It was just like we got in a big fight, and then everyone was like, "What's going on?" And then it just was never resolved. So it wasn't like some crazy huge blowout fight.
Yeah.
Maybe
it was like they just sort of went psycho mode.
Yeah, pretty much.
Damn. I've never been like sort of ghosted. Actually, I have been ghosted by someone kind of similarly.
A best friend or a good friend?
Yeah, best friend.
Damn. See, I just don't understand how people can just
Like 3 times.
You're like, wait, I'm trying to think if I have, and then this has happened multiple times. Wow. Yeah. Sometimes people grow apart, and it's like if you're forcing it, why? Like, don't force something that's not meant to be.
Yeah, and it's kind of weird to be like, I feel like I've outgrown you.
Yeah.
That's kind of a weird thing to say.
Yeah.
This slow drift seems very common. There's rarely one dramatic moment that ends a friendship. Instead, it's a series of small disconnections. Text messages that take longer to answer, hangouts that keep getting postponed, until one day, you realize the person who was once at the center of your life is now on the periphery. Francis and I spoke about my experience with this.
Sometimes it's just like easier that way.
And I'm like, I get that, you know? Yeah, I get it.
Like avoid your problems. It's probably not the mature thing to do.
Yeah.
You know, but
I think he just didn't want to hurt my feelings.
I see.
You know?
But I feel like in a way I would be more hurt if you didn't communicate that you felt that way. You know? Like I'd rather have it settled and have peace of mind with it.
But what happens when that peace of mind never comes? When the friendship doesn't slowly drift, but suddenly vanishes? Renata moved to New York from Ecuador when she was 20. She's now lived here for 9 years, working as a filmmaker. From the moment she walked in, there was something mystical about her presence. She had this way of seeing the world through a lens that was both practical but also deeply spiritual. Our conversation was intense and beautiful. I immediately felt connected to her as she shared her views on the city, on loss, and on the invisible threads that connect us all. There was something about her that struck me as special, a unique perspective that made everything she said feel like both a story and a revelation.
And I just like hearing people's, like, you know, experiences.
With the paranormal?
Yeah. I'm not really scared of, like, stuff like that.
Like you're down?
Yes. I live in a very old house. I live in this apartment in this brownstone that's very old. And I was putting up, when my partner passed, I was putting up a bunch of candles, and I was doing all these altars and all this meditation and all this. I was just talking and talking and talking. Like, because I saw about these rituals and like about transitioning and about all of this, and I just wanted to be helpful for him, like, you know. And then I had this this shaman. She came to see me, and she immediately said, "You have been waking up these souls that live in this like house, because all of them are so cheerful that you have been putting up candles. They all think it's for them. So you gotta tell them to like go away because they are just too much."
Renata talked about ghosts and death with the same quiet confidence she used to discuss her film projects. When I asked about friendship breakups, her face shifted. The memory still clearly painful.
I consider her like my sister. Like if I ever felt mad at her, I will feel mad as like how I feel mad with my sister, you know, like, oh, but you still my sister regardless, like, you know, I'm there for you. And
yeah, I'm not gonna just,
it's not like I'm gonna talk shit about you. It's not like I'm like envious or want something bad for you. Like never. Like bro, like that, like the lesson there is like we can't really control anyone. Like It's so interesting because I don't know if you have ever had experience like that, but I was very close to this friend, very close to her. Because we kind of went to preschool. Yeah, we went to preschool together. We knew each other from then, and then as we grew up and we became teenagers, we grew really close to each other. No, we were very close to each other.
Well, it
Yeah.
sounds like she had a boyfriend.
She did, but what is very weird is that towards the end when I was here, well, she gave me the explanation 2 years later, like, cause I was like for 2 years I was like, what the fuck, what happened? I was suffering, I was really suffering, and then when we got on the phone and she started explaining to me what had happened, why she like
Because she stopped
she
talking.
cut every
She just,
sort of contact, like she just cut me off one day. From one day we were like always, and then the next day she was completely gone, and I was here. Like I couldn't even go to her house and be like, "Yo, what the fuck?"
yeah.
Yeah. So when she called me and she told me that she had started a relationship with this guy, and she was scared of telling me because this guy is like a very close friend of an ex-boyfriend who I don't like. Super weird. Like, first of all, I didn't even knew who this guy was, and I wouldn't be mad to a friend because she started a relationship with whoever. Like, bro, you're doing that. I hope you're gonna be okay, and that's it. Like, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then yeah, it was so weird that her reason was not something like I felt like wow, I fucked up. So that was a big relief for me. And then I was like, after that and years of not talking for this stupid thing, I don't feel like I could be like super close to you anymore, you know?
In Renata's eyes, she lost a sister. But what haunted her wasn't just the loss, it was the 2 years of wondering why. 2 years of replaying conversations, searching for the moment where things went wrong. And when she finally got her answer, it somehow made the hurt worse because it was so trivial. What Renata found, after all the pain, was a kind of peace in letting go of expectations, in accepting that people might leave without explanation, and that sometimes that has to be okay.
Now that I'm older, I don't think that anyone like really owes me. Like if I'm giving these nice feelings, then this person should feel this way, you know? And that's like very liberating. Like it's just I'm
Give
giving
without-
because I want. Yeah.
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 But what about when you're the one who pulls away? When you know something needs to end, but you can't bring yourself to have the conversation? I've had a couple of friendship breakups in the past few years that still haunt me. 2 of my best friends. It's not just one thing. It's a slow build. Something happens, and you're both kind of like... And then something else happens, and you're like... But perhaps the most painful one involved one of my closest college friends, Daniel. Daniel and I met in college. We took Chinese together, did theater, and became close friends. When I moved to New York, I helped him get a job at a psychiatry startup where my partner worked. We laughed together constantly, the kind of deep, genuine laughter that makes you feel truly seen by another person. But then, something happened between us. Our friendship just stopped, and for months it was devastating. Losing him as a friend left a gap that I couldn't quite explain to others. The absence of someone who understood a very specific part of me, who shared so many formative experiences. Recently, I invited him to talk about what happened, and the fact that he showed up meant more to me than words can express. Just a little backdrop, like, he texted me and asked me if we had beef, and then I was like, basically like, I don't think we have beef, and then he never texted me back, and so I was like, oh, you don't, like, I was like, that's so mean, like,
yeah,
that's
dismissive, neglectful,
so
all these
rude.
things.
Yeah, I was just like, that feels really disrespectful.
You know, so that guilt, thank you, it goes a long way, and I think reduces it to something that's only coming from me.
It was really interesting to me when we were having our conversation how differently we'd experienced the same silence. I'd been hurt, angry, confused. Meanwhile, Daniel was overwhelmed, he was shutting down, and he was unable to engage.
What I'll say, this big ideology, whereas friendship must be tinkered on and worked on, and when there's issues, you gotta like get in there and really do the work and, you know, schedule that argument to happen.
Yeah, and like get your therapist, like
listen and
like your little like lines.
Yes.
The like dialogue lines that each person says.
Totally. And I think a part of me, and I think an assumption that I had of you as well, is like when something's not gelling, it's not working. Something that's like missing from that big ideology of keep everybody accountable, keep open communication, speak to friends even though you're feeling a certain way towards them that you don't even know how to feel, is keep talking to them, keep everybody in the know, be real. And the thing that's not part of that equation is that what if it doesn't feel good? When you're paranoid, you just make certain associations, like good, bad, right? And that's it. Like anything that was connected to me during college was bad. And then anything that was before that was good. So that's another layer of it, a little bit of that kind of psychotic
you thought
flavor.
It was rich?
Yes. I thought no, I mean it's more complex than that. I think it was just like I came to Bennington with just an understanding that I was different than everybody and just had made all these friends who I couldn't really relate to some of the experiences that they had.
Listening to Daniel explain his side, I started to see how a friendship collapse can happen so easily, through misunderstandings piling up, through life circumstances changing, through the inability to bridge growing differences.
When you're dealing from a place of not only being hurt, but not even having the energy or even the know-how to get help for the hurt, you just start to make associations and closing doors. Like it's just like, that is associated with that, so let's close the door on all of it. Like just slam that door.
It's easy to villainize the person who pulls away, to see them as callous or uncaring. But sometimes the avoidance comes from a place of pain too deep to articulate, from feeling overwhelmed by conflict, or by life itself.
I think you're really spiritual. I think you really challenge people to think about an aspect of their lives that they really do not like to, which is, you know, what do you think is happening beyond the physical realm? What do you think happens to you when you die? I mean, it's true. It's just like everybody in this country is so spiritually starved.
Godless.
And godless, you know.
Let's say it. Let's call them out.
Let's call them out.
They're demons.
No, I think you're really funny too, which is like, I feel like everybody says this, but it's like rule number 1. It's like rule. Yeah. It's criteria 1 through 17 is you have to be funny in my book. If you're not funny, X.
I know. I just remember being single with you in college, and that was so fun because I felt like we were a team.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
It really feels like teamwork with you.
Yeah, for sure. Friedrich Nietzsche had a fascinating philosophy on friendship. He viewed it not as a static bond, but as a means to elevate each individual to their highest potential. He wrote about what he called star friendship, where friends may drift apart as their paths diverge, yet this separation is seen as natural and even necessary for personal development. Nietzsche believed that true friends should challenge each other, sometimes even becoming adversaries in the process, as this friction fosters growth. He argued that friendships shouldn't be based on unconditional support, but on the ability to critique and push one another toward becoming their best selves. There's something almost counterintuitive about Nietzsche's view, that the goal of friendship is not to maintain closeness at all costs, but to help each other become the people we are meant to be, even if that means letting go. My conversation with Daniel ended with something I hadn't expected. Reconciliation. Not a return to what we had before, but an understanding of what had happened between us. I don't feel like we're ex-friends anymore. Like, I used to feel like we weren't friends anymore, and we were like ex-friends, but I don't feel that way anymore. Maybe that's delusional, but yeah, I think we wouldn't be friends if we met in a bar. But then, over time, after I cooled down,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, actually, from what I remember of Daniel and conflict,
Mm-hmm.
he's like pretty avoidant to confrontation, and he like can freeze up and not know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I think maybe other shit's going on for him.
Yes.
So I'm just gonna kind of like, I get it, like, and so I didn't take it personally after a while.
Good.
So
I'm happy you did. I think that's an accurate read of the situation. I think I'm not. I also just think it was just like, I cannot deal with this, and like you were saying, I think the amount of work that it would have taken to not only respond but then to address, and then the hole just got wider and wider, and was just extremely overwhelming. But I think it's a very, very shitty thing to do. Famously showing me Bad Gal. Me turning to me, not even speaking to. I don't even remember how the scene is, but in my mind, the way it is that I'm looking in a different direction. I say, sometimes just because you're rapping over Spanish, rapping over messy beats with Spanish does not make it a good song. And I turn to face Lily. Her face is like this. I then proceed to have an addiction that can only be called pathological to Bad Gal. And we have 4 years of just the greatest time listening to Bad Gal.
oh my god, putting it on at any time, or like Laguni Chonga too.
Yes, Laguni
And
Chonga.
then, by the way, moving to New York City, and then both of them coming to play multiple times, and then Daniel going with his sister and not inviting me. And I had to take my boyfriend elsewhere to watch Bad Gal.
Were you there that night that we went?
No, you didn't invite me.
No, I'm saying, but how many times was she performing?
Like 3 times. Like, it was like Laguni Chunga and Bad Gal, and you like, and I had to take my. Can you imagine
I know.
during the daytime watching Bad Gal with your boyfriend out elsewhere's face?
Yeah.
It was dark. It was dark, but it's okay. I'm not holding on to it, and it's okay. I know you and your sister have a really special relationship, and you.
That can feel really exclusive sometimes.
Yeah, but I was just sort of like, I would have loved to come with
Yes,
you guys. You know
and
what I
I-
mean?
and I actually
it hurt my
deserve it.
feelings. Yeah,
Yeah,
it hurt
I
my feelings.
deserve
But
it.
it's okay. It's okay. This is like a special artist to us.
Well,
you
she's
know.
coming back in May.
Oh,
You
we
know
gotta
that, right?
go. We gotta go.
Have you listened to the new album?
What I've learned from Daniel, from Francis, and from Renata is that sometimes letting go of a friendship is its own kind of kindness, both to yourself and the other person. In essence, Nietzsche's complex view emphasizes the importance of individuality and personal evolution over the comfort of unchanging bonds. So, if you're in the midst of a friendship that's drifting, or if you're still nursing the wound of a friendship that suddenly vanished, know that you're not alone. These quiet breakups happen to all of us. They're part of the messy, beautiful tapestry of human connection. And sometimes, just sometimes, the door that closed might be open again years later, when you both have become the people you needed to be. Or not, winky face. This is the Lilly Friend Project. Thank you for listening. The Lilly Friend Project was created and hosted by me, Lily Hogan. It was post-produced, edited, and sound designed by Noreen Mullick. The theme music was created and performed by Bridge Gamble. Special thanks to Francis, Renata, and Daniel. If you liked this podcast, please head on over to your platform of choice and rate and review us. It really makes a difference. Additionally, we're on TikTok and Instagram, just the show title, so you can just type that into those platforms. And also, I created a secondary questionnaire which I put on the website. Again, lilyfriendproject.com. It's just the show title.com. And there you can fill out this secondary questionnaire, which will automatically spit you out into a Discord community where we'll be doing live events and just generally trying to build community the Lilly Friend Project way. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next time.